right, what's going on, everybody? Chris Franks with Texas West Capital coming at y'all live here. Man, just after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here on Friday. What is today? Today is the 18th of July, 2025. Hopefully you guys are doing all well. Before we get going here, we're going to look at the Bitcoin charts, Bitcoin dominance chart, Ethereum, XRP, the Qs, I don't even know what all the charts we got there, and whatever we can kind of look at to give you guys a better understanding of what's going on overall. Because at the end of the day, guys, we continue to do well. People continue to be scared. People continue to be fearful. But they've been, this same way. If we're at Bitcoin, I mean, it's been years in Bitcoin, right? It's been years in stocks as well. So, it's kind of crazy to continue to put any thought into those types of people, right? If you're out there online, at some point, they're eventually going to be right. But at that point, it's like, what does it matter, right? They've been wrong for years. So before we get into this, do me a favor, y'all, please do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the follow, all that fun stuff. It's always interesting that we get, so little interaction in terms of, likes or shares or whatever, with the same people that keep coming back week after week. So why don't you do that? Help me out there, get this out there a bit, because I'm probably the most rational analyst that you guys are going to find out there. And I've been, we're going to get things wrong from time to time, right? You're going to get things wrong from time to time. Just because you've been doing this like myself for, 31 years doesn't mean I'm going to get it right every time. But the one thing I've been constant, I've been correct about is the macro. Every time when everybody's most concerned about, oh my God, that's the end, we're going down now. I've mentioned, listen, this is probably a pretty good time to buy right about this area. We're hitting whatever support I was looking at. I mentioned it every time. And we tend to do well. We tend to then go up to a new all-time high. So hopefully you guys have been paying attention and noticing that, because again, guys, I can't imagine having to start out as a trader today with social media being like it is, and with just so much noise and nonsense out there. All right. So, just kind of thoughts on that real quick here. By the way, before we get going here, I just want to point out, we always have some new people here, and I probably don't do anywhere near a good enough job of kind of, telling people about everything that I do, but I've got a lot of free resources, just bit my tongue saying that. I've got a bunch of free resources that I do every week. If you want to learn more about markets and trading and all these things in general, you can go over to themarketbreakdown.com, and it's a free newsletter. It goes out daily. It kind of shows where we're at in the market, news events, what's coming up next, stuff like that. From that, you should have other suggestions, and I do have other ones that go out. So that's Monday through Friday, unless there's a holiday, those go out on those evenings. Friday evenings, I also put out the Applied Socioeconomic Theory newsletter. So, you can get that from there, or you can go to socioeconomictheory.substack.com. It's free, again. Another way to look at the markets. Every day, Monday through Sunday, very quick. You read it in 30 seconds to a minute. It's just one trading thought every day where I say, listen, this is what people think, or this is what people are doing, but here's the real thing. And it gives you a little action you can do, a tiny action that you can do just to help you become better traders, to help you sift through all the noise. I've said it so many times before. Online, especially, most of the information you find for trading are half truths, or they're outright lies. And they're not outright lies because people are trying to lie to you, but they're outright lies because people they just want an audience, and they don't really know how to trade. And they don't really understand markets. And so they just repeat a lot of the free stuff that's out there, a lot of the stuff that's regurgitated nonsense. Let me put it this way. 95+% of retail traders never make money in the markets, right? They're out in 3 months, out in 90 days, okay? From the time they get in. Over 95%. Yet, over 95% of the information you find online, especially for free, is the same regurgitated nonsense. So think about it, right? if you want to do better than those traders who are not doing well, stop listening to the same nonsense that they're listening to. Stop reading the same junk they're seeing. Stop, believing in the same regurgitated nonsense that people have been doing for years. And again, this is my 31st year that I've been trading. Okay. 31 years. And I've seen the same stuff, from when I started, because it was the same stuff I was following, which was causing me to lose money up until today. It's just today it's a lot more loud. It's a lot easier to get with, with the advent of social media and the internet and everything. Okay. So that's the first thought there. So anyway, yeah, you can jump on it. That daily, Monday through Sunday, 1 minute read, less than a minute read, is called the Trader's Edge Daily. So you can get that again. If you go to themarketbreakdown.com, it should bring it up as a suggestion, but you can also get it at tradersedgedaily.substack.com. I do every week on Sunday evenings, I post the Bitcoin miner stock report. That one costs $20 a month. But it gives you 18 or 19 charts. So it's all the big public miners there, as well as I think it was WGMI, the miner ETF, and it gives you the updated charts on that, as well as some thoughts on Bitcoin mining and whatnot as well. What else do we do? Oh, Hash and Hedge is my new one. I just launched it a couple of weeks ago, and that's just a place for me to kind of put my longer form thoughts about Bitcoin, not just monetarily, but especially more in terms of when we look at proof of work and hash rate as potential, line of defense against cyber warfare and stuff like that. Also give thoughts on markets, macroeconomic stuff like that, and even my writing. I write novels, and so you might be the first to hear about something coming up on there as well, or just how to be a better writer. So a lot of free information there. If you guys want to join us, you can do so at members.texaswestcapital.com. This is the last weekend that you're going to get a discount. And I don't know when the next time we'll do it is, but right now we've got a 50% off of your annual or even the monthly. We usually just do it for the annual. You can do it on the monthly now too, indefinitely. But you have to use the promo code Bitcoin. Use that as the promo code. And with that, again, we've got a course vault that's got hundreds of hours of course material education in there. We do 3 live streams. I do 3 live streams a week. Mondays, we talk about Wyckoff. Wednesdays, we talk about price action. And Thursdays, we talk about Elliott wave. And what we're doing here, some people get in, they think all we're trying to do is teach you Wyckoff and Elliott wave. No. These are the tools we use to help you understand price action. The really kind of leaning on volume and price action analysis, because what I'm teaching you to do is how to map out liquidity on the charts. That's what I'm teaching you how to do. I just got a DM from a student of mine over in the UK who's with us and been with us a few years. And they don't even do the day-to-day trading, right? They're longer term swings and holds and whatever. But they've managed with the help of TWWC coming here and learning what we're teaching to actually get to the point now where they can buy a house. And that was pretty exciting. I loved hearing that. They're doing so well there. And we've got others doing well, obviously, of course. But not only that, but we also do live trading every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday morning. And I say it's for an hour, but it usually ends up being 2.5, 3.5 hours that I'm there with y'all. And we're actually trading. We're trading. I have actually passed, just this week, I passed the 5th eval prop account with everybody there. So, if prop trading is something you've been thinking about, I discuss a lot of it, the pitfalls, the ins and outs, how to make it work for you. And so, yeah, so we basically help everybody from the, trading on the minute charts there with the live trading there, to the larger swing term, swing trading to investments. But again, the big thing, what we do, we're an education platform, and we teach you how to map out liquidity, how to learn to map out liquidity on the markets, and not just how, but why liquidity shows up where it does. And so not only that, but of course you get Fibbo, and you get all his trades, and you get to learn his system to trade. And then you get all the trades and analysis with Andrew and Vince, which are head traders over there as well. So, I mean, just absolutely insane how much information you get. I do a market wrap every night. I'm usually looking at about 20 charts, something like that, between futures, stocks, and crypto. A lot of those lately have really made some good money here. The last, I guess probably last week, last 2 weeks even, with the alts, because they've had such a good push out there. But again, here's the thing, guys. A lot of y'all are going to be chasing alts right now. Your big accounts that you love to follow are just now getting bullish after alts have taken off this week. You should have been positioned already, like our guys. This is what you're learning at TWWC. It's how do I position myself so that I'm in before the FOMO goes off? So I don't have to FOMO. I can just enjoy everybody else pulling it up because they're FOMOing in. I'm telling you guys, this is the way to do it. And you may think you can do it on your own, and maybe you can. Most people can't. I wasn't able to learn trading on my own. But if you want help, if you want to decrease that time it's going to take you to learn so you have more time to make profits, join in there. Like I said, this is the last weekend. You'll be able to get 50% off. After that, price goes up. And by the way, with what we offer, we are at the low end of our competitors for pricing. And we actually offer a much better product here. So I'm not ashamed to say it. So yeah, if you want somebody who's really serious about you learning and getting better at trading and actually doing well, I mean, I can sit here and tell you all day, but watch the comments. I can pop the comments up here so you can start seeing them now. But we've got some of the people that are a part of TWWC in here, and they'll tell you what they think. These are the ones that are part of us, and they join the lives and they do the live trading and all that stuff with us as well. So yeah. Arkham, what's going on? If I buy a monthly sub with 50% off, will I be paying for the next month 50% on? It's infinite. As long as you're resubbing each month, as long as you've got that automatic, do it until you cancel, you'll continue to get 50% off. So yeah, if you get the monthly and you get that 50% right now, you'll continue to get the monthly at 50% off until you just decide you don't want to do it anymore. So yeah. Or if you do the yearly, same idea. You'll get the 50% off. Now, the difference is obviously with the yearly, you're going to get a discount for the yearly. So when you buy the yearly, you're getting 2 months off anyway. So you're basically just paying for 10 months. So, you can do the monthly and say for 12 months and you'll get half off that 12 months. Or if you do the annual, you're only paying for 10 months and you're going to get half off that 10 months for the 12 months. So, yeah. Let me see here. Bernardo, what's up, man? Says Chris prevents me from becoming a gambler and actually be a trader. And that's our goal, guys. you're going to get a lot of people out here and they're going to talk a lot of whatever. This year, September will be 8 years that TWC's been in business. We're an LLC, we're corporate here. We, pay our taxes. We do all that fun stuff. So I'm not here to be a short-term thing here. I'm not here just to take your money. If you come in and you're willing to put in the work, I'm willing to help you as much as possible. But that means you actually have to do the work, right? You have to go out there, you have to watch the course. You have to show up for the lives. Or if you can't show up for the lives, you can watch the recordings and ask questions. But I expect you to ask questions. We've got an area where you can put your charts in there as you're learning, and you can say, here's what I'm thinking, Chris. What am I doing wrong, or where can I make it better? And I'm going to give you that feedback. We got chart requests where you can request charts and we'll post those on there. I mean, just so much of what we do here to help you in whatever time frame you want to be a trader or investor to be able to do it much more successfully than you've ever done before, because we want to teach you the things that you need to really know, not the nonsense that you get for free online that ends up losing you money. So anyway, so here we go. That was just kind of an heads up because, again, I do a lot of stuff, and most of what I do is free. But we do have that paid part there that if you're serious about learning to trade, really understanding markets, and you want to do it right, and you want to not just be told, listen, just do this or rely on these indicators, but you want to understand how and why the market moves like it does, how and why liquidity develops where it does. That's what you're going to learn with us, and that's just going to make you an infinitely better trader as it is. Okay. Let me see here. So that's that. Let me go ahead and pull up some charts, guys. So the first one, I'll point up everybody and their freaking grandmother Bitcoin dominance is falling off a cliff. Bitcoin dominance is it's dying. Oh my God, it's topped out, right? Here's what I think. Whoops, let me add it up here. Let me see. Can we get this better here? Yeah. So this looks to me, let me pull up the right tab here. Yeah. There we go. This looks to me like a flat correction. You have 3 waves down, you have 3 waves up, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves back down. In terms of Wyckoff, this would be a spring on this range here. So I'm looking for this to go up. This low down here on this daily RSI, it has not been that low since 2021. 2021, when it was bottoming out, big time bottoming out, before it started rallying, up to almost 66% so far. So to me, this looks like a flat. I'm expecting this to rally back up here now. Does that mean no alt season? I think everybody gets a little too hung up on this idea of alt season. Most people don't even know what it means. And those that do, I think, are missing the point that something I've been talking about since January of last year when the ETFs were approved and started trading, right? The idea is that with the ETFs, okay, so prior to the ETFs, what we would do is we had basically everybody was crypto bros, right? And we'd come in here and we'd trade Bitcoin until we got to a top, local or whatever. And then we'd rotate money out to the large caps, mid caps, small caps, micro caps, and then back into Bitcoin, right? That's what we do. Now that's still happening somewhat, but the money in that is dwarfed by the money that's coming into Bitcoin through the ETFs, okay? Through the ETFs, through the Bitcoin treasury companies, all those things, right? So, I've been arguing for, I guess it's a year and a half now, right? That we wouldn't have the same kind of alt season kind of thing that we've always had previously because of this. And that you couldn't necessarily rely on the Bitcoin dominance chart to tell you when alt season was in there. So what I think is what I've continued to say, which is alts will continue to rally, right? But they're not, it's not going to be every single one of them, right? You're going to have to pay attention to what's kind of rallying at the time. But generally speaking, and now that that total 3 has actually popped up above $1 trillion yesterday, it looks like alts in general have bottomed. So generally speaking, we should see alts continuing to rally. Now, locally today, they've had a great week. They've rallied a lot. They're likely nearing a top, if not at a top, to pull back for a bit, but not to new lows, just as a pullback to make another higher low and continuing higher. So when I'm looking at Bitcoin dominance, it continues to tell me what we expect to see, which is more money is flowing into Bitcoin than anything else. Now, Ethereum's kind of pulling in a bit now too. It is what it is, but nowhere near as much as Bitcoin. So I would say don't necessarily rely on Bitcoin dominance chart to tell you when alt season is in. You should already be enjoying alts right now. Most alts have already rallied up in a first wave and pulled back, like a large degree first wave and pulled back. And locally, they're, they've in a interior wave 1 and 2, and they're in that interior wave 3 or wave 3 of 3 heading up. So again, I think in general, it looks like alts are probably bottomed out there. And the pullbacks, generally speaking, with alts should be looking for, buying opportunities. But again, then you have to figure out, well, what the hell? Well, what do I do? How do I know where to buy it? Again, it's nothing I teach you here right tonight. But, again, it's what we teach daily, at TWWC. That's what we're there to do, right? You're going to have lots of opportunities for charts and analysis. And like I said, Vince and Andrew and Fibble are always putting out their trades. And then I talk about trades every night, Monday through Friday. So there's lots of opportunities to trade in there. Plus, we find trades to find during our Wyckoff, price action, and Elliott wave sessions throughout the week as well. So lots of opportunity. We got people from all over the world. So, don't feel like, oh, I'm on the other side of the world, I can't join in. Sure you can. We got people that do it every day, all the way over in Australia and Japan and Croatia, the UK. Oh my God, just about everywhere. In South America, we've got people in South America. We got people in Snow, Mexico that are there, in Canada. So, you either, when you want to do something, guys, in life, you either find a way to do it or you make excuses. And people don't like the people that don't like me saying that are the ones who make excuses. Oh no, I'm not making excuses, but listen, guys, I didn't get where I am today by making excuses, right? And you won't get to where you want to be, whether it's in trading or anything else in life, making excuses. If there's a will, there is a way. I'm a firm believer in that. I've seen too many amazing people, especially with all the traders, thousands of traders I've talked to over the last 30 some odd years, that, so many of them have just made a decision to do what they want to do. And they gave up making excuses. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy. If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. Doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight. If it was happening overnight, everybody'd be doing it, right? Consistency, discipline, focus, and effort. You need to do that, whether it's trading or anything else that you want to get better at in life. Those are absolute requirements. And sometimes I get people, I don't really have any time. And then you find out they're scrolling on their phone when they look at it for 5 hours a day. Holy crap. Scrolling through nonsense on your phone for 5, 6, 10 hours a day. And you're saying you don't have time to do things that make a difference, right? If that's you, and if it just hits you that that's you, well, here's your wake-up call. You're welcome. If it hasn't woken you up, hopefully it will at some point. Just because I've seen too many great people, people that are just great people, but they're so stuck on this, excuses, I'm a victim, life's not fair, all this other nonsense. And they let that stop them rather than stepping up and doing the things that, that they need to do to be where they want to be, to get where they want to get, to do what they want to do. But I can't do it for you. Nobody can do it for you. You have to make the decision and you have to step up and do it. And so, hopefully that rings true with you guys. Hopefully, it gets your attention and makes you look at what you may not have been looking at in the way you thought you were. We're really good at lying to ourselves and deceiving ourselves, but that doesn't change the truth, right? Okay. So, yes, Roy, you're the Snow Mexican, man. Buck up, Buttercup, says Sats McGee. That's right. That's right. I know sometimes, you see, here's the thing. If you're not used to taking responsibility for your life and stepping out and putting forth that kind of effort, then when I say stuff like that, you're going to go, oh man, you're an asshole. You're a jerk. You're so mean. You're not blah, 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 right? That's what you're going to think. And I'm sorry for him, but I hate that you feel that way. But that's not going to change the reality of the situation, right? Those that understand what I'm saying here, they're like, yeah, that's legit, right? That's the truth. That's the thing, right? I mean, I'm successful at what I do because of my mindset, because I believe that. Gary Cardone is successful, and even his brother, Grant, are successful at what they do because they believe that. If you listen to them, they talk the same way. They say the same things. If you want to be successful, you have to do what people that are more successful than you are doing. You don't sit there and sit in the group and be comfortable with the group. They're going boo, boo, whatever, and not doing anything. Life's too short. I got to tell y'all, life is way too damn short. Too many of y'all are out here struggling, hating life, dealing with nonsense that you force upon yourself because you won't step up and do the things you need to do to get where you want to get. But you've got the ability to do it. It's just, will you? And the only one that can decide that is you, right? I'm telling you guys. All right. So there's my little, I do this a lot, guys. I'm a firm believer in the things that I teach at TWWC as far as trading go are not just applicable to trading, but they're applicable to life. And I'm such a big, firm believer. I believe your mindset is the absolute number one determinant of what you are going to be. How successful are you going to be in life? Okay? It all starts and ends up here. If you don't have the right, if you don't lay that right foundation in your head, You can't possibly do it because days are going to come up where life is difficult, where you don't want to do it, where it's another day and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this today. That's why motivational crap doesn't work. That's why I'm not a motivational speaker. I speak reality. Because motivational speaking works great. It feels great when you're in the moment and then it's done and then you're like, crap. Right? How many of y'all have been through that? I know a lot of y'all that watch here are entrepreneurial or you want to be. And you get stuck, you get sucked up into the motivational stuff and then you don't go anywhere. Because motivation isn't what is going to make it happen. You have to have, I'm going to say it again, consistency, discipline, focus, and then effort. You have to do it. And not just where you barely kind of give it effort. You go, oh, I'm trying so hard. But you know you're not really. You're lying to yourself. We're talking about real effort. You've got to do it. And you won't be successful in trading if you don't do these things, guys. If you join TWWC and you don't have the focus, the discipline, the consistency, the effort, it's not going to do you any good. Don't do it. You're just going to waste your money. Don't do it here. And don't listen to somebody else telling you you're going to learn to trade in 2 minutes a week and you're going to become a millionaire next month. They just want your money. They're telling you what you want to hear. Stop. Stop feeding into the nonsense and the garbage. You are worth more than that. Okay? Do I still do Cardone Corner with Gary? I haven't in a bit. It's been a minute. As a matter of fact, I hadn't been on. I used to do spaces with him every Monday, but my bandwidth is so stretched out with everything. I haven't been able to be on that in a while. I was on that just this last Monday, though, and I told him I'd start trying to show up more often on his spaces. Maybe Cardone Corner if we can make it work. But a lot of times his Cardone Corner overlaps with some show that I'm doing. Like today, I'm doing this, right? So, let me see here. Jojo, what'd you say? I'm not sure the newer generations have the same way of looking at things as us older dogs. They really don't, but some of them do. Some of them do, because those things I was talking about, that consistency, focus, effort, discipline, those are universal. And those are throughout time, they're universal, right? You can sit here, you can argue about them as much as you want and play the victim and do all these things, but you're not going to get anywhere in life. You know, most of us aren't handed perfect lives. We have to work for the things we want to accomplish. But guess what? That makes it all the more sweeter, right? That makes it all the better when you do it. And I've got more than a few students with us at TWWC that'll tell you how their lives are changing because they're paying attention and putting forth the effort they need and learning how to trade and really kind of ramping up their accounts. We've got another one. I think I told you guys not too long ago, mentioned that their futures account was finally in the green after being with us for 6 months. They'd struggled and struggled and struggled, and finally it's in the green. And by the way, they've passed some prop accounts too along the way, but we got lots of these stories, and I don't do anywhere near enough to kind of share them with y'all, right? Because I'm just so focused on doing the work we do there. But I use this opportunity to kind of tell you as we do this. Any chance I can subscribe with USDT? Arkham, are you on X, on Twitter? If you are, send me a DM at TX West Capital, and I'll see if I can set that up with you. Okay. Let me see here. Sats, what'd you say? Watch these cyclists climb a mountain in the Tour de France, and you'll see what hard work and effort really is. They'll crash and get right back on the bike. Yeah. Most of us aren't pushed through that. Most of us haven't been pushed in our life to really understand that, what we can actually do. A lot of us, the minute we start getting a little bit uncomfortable, we go, oh, I tried, I can't do it. Guys, listen, if you're going to get offended if I'm saying that, you especially need to stop and just go, maybe he's right, and really look at your life and go, damn, okay. Yeah, because I can all but guarantee you that that's you. And I'm not saying here to be mean. I'm saying here to be a wake-up call so that you recognize it. So that if you recognize it, now you got the ability to change it. Now you have the ability to do something more. And again, it's not just with trading, guys. Your relationships, the people you're dating, the people you're married to, your families, your job. Do you have a business? Your business. Are you really doing the things you need to do to make your business successful? Most people aren't, but they say they are, right? And some people, they don't know what they have to do, but the first step is you have to know that you're not doing it. That's what you have to know. You have to know, listen, I know there's more I have to do here, or maybe something different I have to do. I'm not sure what it is, but I've recognized that I've been lying to myself and saying that I'm doing everything and it's just not working. I'm really not. It is that mindset that determines whether you become successful in life or not, guys, and whatever you want to do. Okay? All right. Michael, what's up, man? He says, I was flat negative in my Roth IRA for years, currently up 25% on my total account just from learning how to spot good trades through TWWC. Man, I appreciate that. See, I love when people come up and let us know about that. Because, you know, again, I can sit here and tell you all day long that what I do works. You know, if you put in those efforts you have to put in, but, you know, most people are like, oh, well, you're just trying to, you know, sell your book, right? You're just trying to get out there and get customers. And yeah, trying to get customers because I want you to be better, hopefully, than I've ever been, because it doesn't make it me any worse as a trader, but I get to walk around with my chest out and go, yeah, they listened to me. They did what they did. I didn't do the work for them. They did the work, but man, I was able to be there to give them what they needed to, you know, to know and to understand to be able to do it. And that feels good, guys. I'm not altruistic. I'll promise you. Nobody is. We all have some reason for doing the things we do in life, whether it's money or fame or recognition, or in my case, it just freaking makes me feel good. I love how it makes me feel. That's an addiction, guys. Pretty much. You know, when you can go out there and you can help somebody. And, you know, again, I'm not doing the work for them. They're doing the work. This is all them about doing the work. But I was able to be there and to let them know, listen, here's the nonsense out here. Here's the reality. Here's how you can do this. You still have to put in the work. I will never tell you, it's not me. I'm not giving these guys, I'm not doing it for them. They're doing it themselves. I'm just able to give them the information they need and to hopefully help, you know, hold them somewhat accountable so that they can get beyond what they're maybe used to doing and holding back and actually get the things done. Okay. Okay. Hey, Arkham, send me an email at christopher.inks@texaswestcapital.com. Or if you want to just tag me. Oh, you know what? You could just tag me on and tell me who you are here on X, and then I think I can send you a DM, and then it'll let you send me one. So anyway, so yeah, so right here, dominance, Bitcoin dominance looks like a flat here. I'm looking to see that we can get a rally back up, right? We're at the bottom of the low volume node, printing a spring below the range low here. Again, looks like 3 down, looks like 3 up, 5 down. It is the structure of a flat, which is often you get a quick drop, an extended lift, and then a quick drop again. You know, you get that alternating movement there. And so, I mean, it looks like it's set up there. The volume, the price action looks great here. So yeah, we'll see if we can get that to rally back up there. Let me see here. Bitcoin itself. Here we go here. Looks like we may have a flat here. We may have like a 1. And again, 3 down, 3 up, and working on maybe 5 down, maybe a little bit more to get the 5th down here. But you can see here, this is the 4 hour. You can see that we've reset the stochastic RSI, or momentum oscillator, down there and oversold. How's that daily look? Daily's got room up there. We're kind of sitting on the monthly R2 pivot here. So, you know, something that's really interesting you all should watch is when you've got like a trend here, right? And at the top of the trend, you have this large wick, small body at the bottom, spike of volume, suggests a pause, if not a reversal. But then your next one here, look at this one. You have this big candle down, which closed exactly, basically 50% up there. Large lower wick, even larger spike of volume. So you have supply that came in, and then you had even more demand come in down here. And what have we done since then? We're just sideways here on top of that support. That's what you love to see. You love to see that. So let's zoom in here, the 1 hour. Let's see here. Yeah, so basically 3 waves down here. Well, A and then a flat for B, I believe, and then a C here. And then it looks like 3 waves up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, This may be 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then a 5, one more little push down lower here. But I'm definitely interested in watching this either from the low here, or maybe push a little bit lower here to see if we can get that rally back up. And then once we're doing that, guys, just based on this potentially being a 1 and a 2 here, and maybe something like right there. I mean, you're looking at least up here 126, 350 or so. There's always the possibility, I guess this could be like a triangle. So 3 down, 3 up, we get 3 down, 3 up and 3 down. So you go A, B, you get a C, you get a D, and an E as a consolidation before it breaks up. And if we do that, you got a pattern target based on the height of this pullback here. Guys, I've got the hiccups. Sorry, guys. See, I got all passionate and excited and talked a bit there, and now I'm hiccuping. But that gives you that 128,000 or so target, pattern target based on the height here. If this, we get a little bit pulled down here, so we end up 3 down, 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, and then 3 down, consolidation. But ultimately expecting Bitcoin to continue up there, especially from where we are right now. If we can bump up above this. This is the Bitcoin all-time index chart, so whatever it is on your chart, but this 119,551 and 95 cents, right around that area. If we break out above that, that should indicate that this pullback's complete, and we're looking to break out higher here on that. Let me see here. How about Ethereum? Let's talk about Ethereum and a couple ideas I have on this. All right. Let me see here. When XRP moon? Usually save that question for Tillman. All right. All right, Arkham, when you comment on it, just let me know if your name here is different than on X, so that way I know who you are. Kimasabi, what's up, man? Says 128K would be an area of interest, being that 2 times the 64K high of 2021. Yeah. So here's the big weekly Ethereum USD chart. Again, guys, everybody freaking out about Ethereum. Remember, it bottomed here in June of 2022. Bitcoin didn't bottom until November of 2022 here. So, Ethereum was ahead of Bitcoin on that pullback there, right? So what am I looking at here? So I've been consistently bullish about Ethereum. I told you we're getting a pullback. We break out higher. We're going to get a new all-time high. I still believe that. So how can we look here? Well, based on the height of this pullback here, by the way, notice this is only 3 waves. That's corrective. We've broken out above that second wave. That should indicate that this is going to be corrective. Based on the height of this pullback here, that gives us a $14,000 pattern target. Okay. Now, what's going on here? I think we may have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a leading diagonal, 3 on the pullback here. So a 1 and a 2 and rallying up. I think that may be what we have here. The other possibility, I don't know that I feel this a lot, but maybe we get an A, maybe this is a B, and then a C, and this becomes a D, and then we'll have an E. So we'll have a move up and then 3 more wave pullback here. Probably, closer around this 2,400 if it was to do it. And that would finish a triangle here. And again, that pattern target on that triangle would be that 14,000 area. If we, the current, we're rallying up here. If we break out above the swing high here at, let's see, is it 4109? Yeah. If we break out above this 4109 from here, then that'll say this leading diagonal is a 1 and a 2 is likely what's going on. And we're going up, right? In that case, let me see here. In that case, 5 waves up will get us 29,952. We'll see if we get that. We'll see how that works. I'm more interested in the local right now. Pattern target there, 14,000. But man, that'd be some crazy stuff if we hit that 30, almost 30, right? Not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying if that's a 1 and a 2, then based on how we usually measure things, That's where we'd be kind of looking to head up to. And I guess if you think, oh, that can't happen, I mean, look at this right here, right? This right here from, so even if we just do here, let me see here. Just up there was what? Just over a year? Oh, wait, just over a year, and it was down here, actually. And so that entire rally there for that year was 4,771%. So, I mean, people are like, oh, I can't do that. Well, I mean, sure it can. Look at how quick this decline came here. And that decline was big, right? So, yeah, we could potentially get that as a big push up there. So I'm not saying 30. I'm saying that's what it would look like. This is going to be a 1 and 2. But again, if this ends up being A, B, C, D, and E, we're looking more around 16,000. No, I'm sorry. 14,000 here. Are you going to complain at 14,000? I mean, maybe if you didn't buy down here when I was saying you should be buying down here in April. But, it is what it is. I mean, we're already up, what, 100%, over 100% on that? I mean, even if you just waited for the sideways here, you'd still be upwards of 141% right now on Ethereum. So it's about understanding where that liquidity is and how to use that to your, to benefit you, how to exploit that liquidity, right? And that's what we do, every day. That's what we talk about. That's what we're trying to learn. That's what we're trying to teach. That would be bonkers. I'm nervous saying, 29,000 or 30,000. I am. Which is why I said, let's focus on what's going on locally first. But I mean, that's the, as you saw, the potential, extension on that. And I don't know, if enough of the institutions are getting on Ethereum, maybe. But we look at locally first. We do have targets prior to that. And again, it could still just be finishing up a triangle here locally. But again, still 14,000. I mean, it's pretty amazing, right? Let me see here. Let's see. So yes, that's what I'm kind of looking there as far as Ethereum goes. Let's jump to the Qs here real quick. So again, the Qs here, the big times where everybody was telling you that it was the end and everything was going down, right? We had it over here. Remember this? August 5th of 2024, last year? Almost a year ago, guys. Remember, that's when everybody said, oh my God, it's the end. The yen carry trade is over and it's imploding. And now we're going to go into just the hellholes, right? And what we do? Monday came up. We ratcheted back up. And like and the point I was trying to make on that Monday, I talked to our students a lot about it. I'm not sure how often I talked about it in public. I think I did, though. Or at least I talked on Wednesday about it on Beards and Bitcoin. But, come Monday, if this was really the end and we were going down, we should have had limit downs on that Monday when market opened. The minute the market opened, if it was really that thing happening, your big players should have been out there selling. And that would have been hitting the limiters on the way down, right? But instead, they bought. And man, did they be. There we went up, right? Here we are again, April 7th. That was the recent one, right? Again, just what did we found support right here at this previous all-time high. That's all we did. Look at this. Let's see if I can show you guys this here. I mean, all-time high, right? We hit it here. We pulled back. We broke out. We retested that area here, right? Came back, retested it fully. I mean, low volume node. I mean, everything here, all that volume and everything's screaming S1 pivot right there, the yearly S1 pivot. Everything's screaming support is going to be there. And yet everybody and their grandmother was telling you, oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. Oh, my God, we're going down. It's the end, right? Yeah, this huge bit of bullish or hidden bullish divergence here, right? Almost coming into this next one over. But, I mean, just so many things on there. And then look, then we popped out above the yearly pivot. We're up to the R1 pivot on the yearly now. Holy crap. Guess what? Based on the height of this pullback here, we got a 648 pattern target on the Qs right now. What does that tell you? Generally speaking, tech should continue to roll higher, right? So, again, you have to understand where liquidity may be and why it may work out or not work out, right? It doesn't mean you're always going to get a reaction or the reaction that you're looking for out of liquidity. Sometimes you're going to pop right on down through liquidity to find a different liquidity pocket. But if you don't know where that liquidity is and why it's developing where it is, you're going to have a lot of trouble. You're going to find yourself getting emotional, and then the people on the loudest, mouths there on social media are going to be screaming, "It's the end of the world." They're going to be Chicken Little, talking about how the sky is falling. And because if you don't know what's going on, it makes life really, really difficult, because you're going to assume that they know what they're talking about it. But even worse yet, it's just that constant loud voice yapping in your ear. It's going to make you get out. Why would you want to get out in a situation where you should be buying more? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? I got a sol chart coming up, Colton. A sol chart. I got one of those coming up here in just a minute. So we'll talk about that. So yeah, again, that's my focus, right? My biggest focus, everything that I teach, when I talk about it here for free, or I talk about it in Twitter for free, or in one of my free newsletters, or I talk about to our students, right? Which I go into a lot more detail, of course. Come on now. There we go. Everything is focused around helping whoever's listening understand that markets don't move for the reasons that most people are talking to you about online. And they don't move in the way that most of the people are trying to get you to think they are online. Most people are using indicators, even if they're custom-made indicators, which means they're lagging. They're always lagging. You're always behind, right? We're teaching you how to be ahead of the curve, how you can get in. Like, what I try and teach you guys is how you can get in here or here or here. So that way you don't have to jump in on the FOMO on the breakouts. You're already in down here. You're letting the rest of everybody else who's going to FOMO jump in. Right? That's what you should be looking to do. I made a post earlier on Twitter, I think it was today, that said, listen, basically I said, listen, if your favorite social media personality out there is just now getting bullish on alts and whatnot, and they're just now talking good about them, you're already behind. Me, Andrew, Vince, our students, we're ahead of you. We're already in. Your FOMO in when it's already moved is just helping to propel our profits higher. You shouldn't want to be that. You should want to be in there before it moves out. Right? That's the goal. That's the goal as a trader. You want to be in before it breaks out. But you have to understand where and why you're most likely to be correct on that. Okay? So yeah, Q is still looking good. Still got a big pattern target up there. Let's see here. Let's look at, look at that, XRP. So XRP is an interesting one. I don't know how many of y'all have been following me for a few years, but remember back over here when the government started coming after Ripple and the Coinbase and all of them started delisting. We were coming down, and I said, what's going to happen? What's most likely to happen? And the video may still be on YouTube here back around this time. I said, what's going to happen is this is a temporary thing. I said, what's most likely to happen is Ripple's going to come out with some sort of slap on the hand, some sort of fine, and then everything would be listed back and they'd be back. And look at it. Sure enough, we're back here, right? Here we are. Now, more importantly, look at this beautiful range here. Got a little move down below, boom. And now we're up, right? So we're in a 1, 2, and 3. 5 waves up, minimal target, $5.19.5 minimally. That's where I'm looking at minimally for us to go, right? On that. But that's just on this next move here. So we're already at a new all-time high. That's the next one. Right there. So, the odds here is something like this is a 1, 2, and that's a 3, 4, and we're getting a 5 here, which means we probably have like a 1, 2 here. That would be a 3. We get a 4, and we'll get a 5 up higher. So I don't know that necessarily that $5.20, 19.5 cents is going to be the high. I think that's just the next step up. We get a pullback. Everybody's going to scream the tops in, and then it'll pop up at least one more time higher on that. So, hey, if you're holding XRP, congratulations. But you don't want to be the people getting in here. Why don't you get in down here or here or here or over here? This is what we do day in and day out, right? This is the thing I teach you guys. How do we know to get in here and here, here and here? Doesn't mean you're going to get necessarily the very low, but dang it, you're going to get pretty close to it, right? And look at this. All of a sudden, let's say you're getting in down here at $2.15. I mean, boom, here you up 350, 360, 370, right? You're almost up 50% already. In how many days or how many weeks? 3 weeks. 3 weeks, guys. And the week's not even done yet. You got to have patience. All right. You have the ability to understand where that liquidity is going to be, where you're likely to get a reversal. And then you have to get in and then have patience to let it play out. Too many of y'all are looking for the quick break and thinking you're going to get rich overnight on that quick break. Most of y'all, when you do that, you don't even end up taking profits. It comes back against you, then you get scared and you get out after losing money, right? I mean, this is, you have to understand what game you're playing, because nobody cares when you cry that you lost money. Honestly, I see it all the time on there. Oh my God, I lost everything our family had. Yeah, I feel bad that you put yourself in that situation, but that is 100% on you. Why did you get into something and bet all that in a game that you didn't understand that you were playing or how to play? Why would you do that? See, but people are so used to getting everybody to feel bad for them and to blame everything else. Government says it's okay. You can blame somebody else. It's not your fault. Here in the U.S., what's the stupidest thing in the U.S.? No fault insurance. Are you freaking kidding me? Of course it's somebody's fault. Of course it is. But yet we don't. And you know what happens? We all pay higher interest rates now. Because guess what? If you get in a car accident and you claim with, it's no fault insurance, your insurance company is going to pay, which means your rates are going to go up. Even if you were just sitting at a red light and some dummy slammed into you, or you were crossed on a green light, somebody ran a red light and T-boned you. It surely isn't your fault. You're going to pay for it though. But this is government. This is government teaching you in society that it's okay. You don't have to take responsibility. What does it mean if you don't have to take responsibility? It means you're not going to put in the effort to really be successful, because in order to be successful at anything, you have to understand there are no guarantees. And whether you do well or you don't do well is entirely up to you. It is 100% only you. If you do well, you have only yourself to congratulate. If you don't do so well, you have only yourself to blame. But people don't want to blame. Makes them feel bad. Makes them feel stupid. Oh, I couldn't do that. Guys, you're going to fail. The people that are successes today have failed multiple times in their life. I failed multiple times as a trader in the first few years before I was able to get to where I am today. The question is, do you take full responsibility for your actions or do you not? And if you don't, it's going to make it all but guaranteed to be impossible for you to become the success that you think you want to be. It's a mindset switch that you have to do. And this isn't maybe I need one. No, I'm telling you, you have to. You absolutely have to make that mindset switch. There is no other way to it. If you can't take responsibility for the choices you're making, then there's no way you're going to have the drive and desire, and importantly, the ability to understand when you make a mistake, to look back at it and figure out how to fix it so you don't make the same mistake again. That's what it takes. Okay? I hope this is getting through to somebody. I hope somebody's, this is really making sense. Because a lot of what I get, in social media is stop talking about the mental side of it, the psychological, the emotional side of it. Just give us the charts. Well, you're going to lose money if I just give you the charts. That's for sure. I can all but guarantee that. And I don't say all this because I'm better than you. I say it because I figured it out. And I'm trying to help you figure it out. Because I want a legion of people to be out there becoming successful so they stop relying on government. Because life is so much better when you don't. Real freedom comes from money, guys. It doesn't come from government. You know how I know? All you have to do is look at the most repressive governments in the world. And anybody that has money in those territories can leave. The government says, no, you can't. They can leave. That money buys them freedom. Whether they bribe the government to leave, whether they get somebody to sneak them out, whatever. Money is freedom. It's the only real freedom out there. Because government is going to take away your rights that it gives you, right? The rights. It's going to give you away those things it takes. One day you're free to do this, the next day you're not. But you can't make that money to that extent until you start accepting when you make bad decisions and when you make wrong decisions. It's a part of the process. But people, they view it as the end all. They say, oh my God, if I made it, I'm so stupid. I'm so terrible. Oh, I can't do it. Yes, you can. Stop shortchanging yourself. When you make a mistake, it gives you the opportunity to look at the mistake you made, change what you did, which led to that mistake. So that way, the next time you don't make that same mistake. In trading, that's of the utmost importance. Otherwise, you continue to make the same mistake and you continue to lose money because you're not changing what you're doing. You have nobody to blame but yourself. It's not the market. It's not Wall Street taking your money from you. It's not crypto whales manipulating you. It's your decision not to take responsibility for your actions, which is the first step, because only when you do that can you then look back and go, okay, here's the mistake. How do I fix it so I don't keep doing it? I see you guys out there. You make the same mistakes over and over and over again in your trading, and you wonder, why can't I make it as a trader? Everything's against me. No, it's not. You're against you. Okay? All right. I'm telling you guys, hopefully if you don't know all this, this is really making sense for you, but this is looking good on XRP here. Let me see here. What other chart do I have here? I have Sol. Let's pull up Sol here. Sol, again, I tell you guys, we teach you how to find liquidity, right? How to understand where things are. Guess what? If you haven't heard the story, legit, Wendy O show, December 30th, 2022. I said Sol was a buy here in that $9 area. I got so much freaking hate mail. I got called every name in the book. What's happened? That was it, right? But they didn't know. Everybody had every reason why this had to crash down. SBF, everything, right? It didn't. This is the weekly. Next week's it went flying up. Reaccumulation, rallying up. Here we are again. Reaccumulation here. Heading up higher. I mean, look at this. We went up to, guys, from that $9 area, we went up to $295.83, almost $296. Now, there were some people I've talked to that have actually bought around this area after I said it, or at least in this area when I was saying to buy it again at this $15, $16 area. But they haven't held all the way up and continue to hold till now. They've sold out along the way because they got scared, because money started becoming money, right? I mean, think if you had bought, let's just say you bought it $10, you'd be up 30x almost right up here. It's hard not to lock in some profits, right? It's hard not to. But if you know what you're doing, worst case scenario is you take some profits and then you find a place to buy in on the pullback. Now, here we are coming up here at that resistance, at that yearly pivot. We should continue up higher overall. I mean, you know, again, if we're looking at this pullback here, right? I think this may be this may be 3 down, 3 up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. But basically what we're looking at is the height of this pullback just for a generic pattern target. As we've been doing, as I've shown you guys, based on the height of this pullback, we've got a pattern target up here at 581, almost 582. Now, does it have to stop there? No, it can go higher. But this is a simple, quick pattern target that you can pull in to get you a quick kind of, you know, what are we looking at here from here? But how many of y'all would have loved to have bought down there and still be holding today? Right? You can learn to do that. Oh, there's Sats. I bought Saul and the teens because of Chris. Still have it. I love it, man. We got a lot bigger, you know, we got further upside there coming. Roy says, I wasn't aware what Saul was till 135. Yeah, yeah. But still, even at 135, I mean, you still got a good move up, right? We've just been going, but we've been going sideways here since March of 24. And that's hard for people. Sideways is hard because what sideways does is it makes you question yourself. If you came in here and you were bullish, by the time you're in here a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year, oh my God, you're like, oh my God, it's never going to break out. And then you're like, oh, we finally get the breakout. And then it drops down here like, oh, that was it, right? Realistically, though, we've got higher to go still. So we've got that. LinkedIn. Link was the other one that I was talking about well ahead of time. While we were developing here in 22, I was talking about this being looking like it was going to be an accumulation range. As we got right to about this point in beginning mid of May, I said, most likely we're going to dip down below. And I said, we're going to print a spring under the range here. And when we do, if we can get it around that $5 or $6 area, that $4 or $5 area, sorry, I said, you want to be buying it there. Again, these are online. You can find them online. It may have been on Twitter and or in a YouTube video, but these were public things I said. Sure enough, that's what it was. Boom. We went from down here at $5 up here so far to $31. We pull back. Everybody's like, oh my God, it's the end. It's the end. No, it's not. We're just getting going. We're going to go up higher, right? So right now we're looking at a 1 and a 2. That gives us minimum 5 waves up at 34.80 just off the low here. Right? Minimally. I believe we go higher than that though. Okay. But right now, from right now at $18, you can all but guarantee you're going to get up there around $35 at least. So Link, another setup here. Setup looks like a little W bottom here, a little double bottom going on, potentially even. But again, right there at the low volume node. No surprise, right here at, you know, support. You have support here on top of this support. I mean, really, you have this support, you have this sideways, you have this sideways, you have this sideways. You're just, all you're doing is building a whole lot of support here between the move up, sideways, the move up, and the move down. Of course, it's going to bounce right there and go up. So, a lot of opportunity out there, whether you're looking at stocks or whether you're looking at Bitcoin or whether you're looking at alts in general. I believe we're nowhere near the top yet. We've still got further to go. Dips are made for buying, right? The question is, what dip do you buy? How far do you wait to buy it? That's the thing you have to figure out, right? It's the thing we talk about daily, TWC. Let me see here. Somebody was asking about VET. Let me make a VET chart here. That stupid thing keeps flipping over. You guys, let me know. We got, what do we have? Almost 700 people watching right now. Is this making sense to you guys? What I'm talking about here, is it like, yes, is it an aha moment for you? Are you like, holy crud, okay, yeah, and they're starting to think about the way in which you're viewing things? Let me know. I really, really, really want to know. I want to know that I'm not out here just wasting my time. What good is it if I'm out here telling you guys if you're just ignoring it? Playing silly games, right? Do you take it seriously? Do you take life seriously? Hit the thumbs up, hit the like. Again, share the stream. Let me know. Leave a comment. Yeah, 700 people watching. We got like 5 people talking. That's fine. Maybe you're watching somewhere where you can't talk. That's fine. I understand. But let me know. Let me know if this is hitting home. Because it needs to. If you want to be successful as a trader. And you can sit here and argue with me all you want, but let's look at the facts here. I've got 31 years. I'm successful at it. Do you? Are you? And again, it's not about me just saying, oh, look, I'm better than you. I'm trying to say you can be better than I've ever been. You can absolutely do this. But it starts up here. It starts up with what's going on in your head. Do you recognize that this leads the way? That if you're ignoring this, you can't have the success that you want to have, whether it's with trading or anything else. Okay? How do you find a bottom like Sol at 9 or you DCA? Well, no, I don't DCA. I'm not a DCAer. I say that I don't DCA into Bitcoin. I buy Bitcoin, when I want to buy it. I don't just blindly buy it, right? I don't just blindly buy anything. But finding that bottom like that is a culmination of what I teach there at TWWC, right? It's how to understand what's going on with the cycle, with liquidity flows. How does liquidity flow in cycles in your chart? How does liquidity show up in your chart? And why might it show up at these areas? That's the thing to learn, right? Because if you don't, and you start relying on indicators, you might be right sometimes, you might not, right? If you're trading the same generic patterns that everybody talks about, triangles just because it's consolidating, head and shoulders, cup and handle, all that stuff. Y'all that are on social media, how many times have you seen those called out and they've been wrong? Because generic patterns like that, without an understanding of why they might form, right? There's a reason why a cup and handle forms, right? You need to understand the psychology behind it, not just the pattern. Because if you're just doing the pattern, you've always got a 50-50 chance. And when you are right, you're probably going to lose your money most of the time because it pulls back too far before it gets going. So you get in and you maybe expect a little bit of a pullback, but it pulls back further. And because you don't understand the psychology behind why it forms or where that liquidity might show up, you end up exiting at a loss. Be honest. How often has that happened? That happened to me a lot when I first started. That's why I can talk about it so much like this. Okay. So let's look at VET here. Let's see. So yeah, so we've got a nice, great, look, it's just all sideways here, basically. A little bit higher up and all the way back down. I mean, just consistently right here since back in May of 22. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Let's kind of pull this in here a little bit. whoops, meant to get the daily. Look at the monthly. The monthly is just now, stochastic RSI is just now resetting. RSI is neutral there. If you look here, it's pretty clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. Let me see here. Yeah, so this looks like a 1 and then an A, a B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here potentially. It looks like this may just be a big flat right here. So if I'm going to do this, sorry guys, I'm working off a laptop here. Still haven't got my issue figured out on my computer yet. So right now, my initial thought is this is what we're looking at. A 1 with a flat as a 2 here. And so get that flat done there. Locally here. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So A, B, C. Right into the demand structure here. Right at the low end of the higher volume node, or as we start getting the low volume node. I mean, everything's screaming, let's go. And so, yeah, so if I'm looking at this, like locally here, and we've broken out above the wave B here, so we should be on wave 3, minimum expected 0.05186. Wave 5 off this low here, minimum expected 0.06645. We usually get 5 waves up right around the previous swing high. So we get here a little bit higher. I mean, that gets us right there where we're looking. That looks good to me. So, you know, yeah, I think VET here locally is headed toward, you know, just over 6.5 cents. Bigger picture, right here. About like that. That gives us a 3 up here, minimum expected, just over 17.5 cents, around 30.5 cents for minimum expected wave 5 target, which does what? What did I just say down here? 5 waves up near the swing high, right? 5 waves up near that swing high. So the setup looks good in there overall. Elliott wave is a great tool to map out liquidity if you understand what you're doing. Okay? You should be buying, you know, here and here, not here, you know, not on the breakout here, not on the breakout here. You should be buying over here and letting it ride, right? Especially if in the US where you have to hold the damn thing for a year before you can get out with long-term capital gains tax, which is so much less than your short-term capital gains tax, right? But if your regular trading, right, is not consistently buying here or here or here or here, and instead you're buying on these breakouts, on the breakouts, you're doing it wrong. You are behind. You are losing money compared to what you could have. And it's a lot more stressful. It's a lot more stressful buying the breakouts. Because what do? Here you buy this breakout, it goes up, you're like, great, yeah. And then you're like, oh, crap. And then you're scared to sell. Oh, crap. And then you're scared to sell. Where do you sell? You sell down here. Almost exclusively, everybody. And what happens? Boom. There we go. Boom, takes back off. So you had it right. You just had to hold it. But you got scared along the way because you don't understand the structure. You don't understand that there is a specific structure in the way that price moves, because we're just human beings, guys, and our brains work in a certain way. Our movement, our emotional movement works in a pretty understandable way. That's why it works. Oh, but Chris, you know, stock market, 80% of it's, you know, algo driven. Crypto's getting there too. Yeah. But those algos are based on the same things still. They're not just arbitrarily buy here, sell here. There's a reason they buy and sell at the levels that they do. And it all comes back to, how do human beings tend to trade? Because that's what we're used to. That's what we know. We can replicate it over and over again, year after year, market after market. Everybody wants to, ever since I came into crypto in January of 2017, I have heard nonstop about how crypto is different. And if you hear anybody saying that, just walk away. It's not different. It's the same as every other damn market out there. Except there's a bit more liquidity, but I can't even say that anymore because ever since the meme craze of stocks back during the pandemic, stocks a lot of times acting like crypto. So I can even say that the volatility is different. The regular volatility is different anymore. But even with that, it still works the same way. The markets all work the same way. Futures, precious metals, energy, stocks, crypto, Forex, whatever you want, they all work the same way. And they all work the same way year after year, cycle after cycle. I've been in since 95. I went through the dot-com bubble. I went through the GFC. As a trader and investor, I went through these things, right? I went through the pandemic, right? I went through every cycle in crypto since 2017, January of 2017. I've been through the DXY cycles. Every market works the same way. So you don't have to learn something different. You don't have to get with the on-chain metrics. Guys, look at the on-chain metrics. We had remember we had not too long ago where I always forget his name, but from Glassnode or whatever was saying, "Oh, this indicator says we're topped out. We're topped out for Bitcoin." And then it went on and it's rallied now another $20-somewhat thousand above that, right? And obviously to his credit, he came out and said, "Hey, listen, guys, I was wrong." But I warned about that prior to that happening. I said, stop relying on on-chain metrics. You don't have to. Just learn to understand markets. You can continue to trade them well. You don't have to worry about that. You don't need indicators. I have indicators on here because, they help out new traders, right? Why? Well, pivots give you an understanding of significant levels to watch. Your volume by price level here tells you where the market's interested, where it isn't, if you're not used to looking left already. Volume, the only indicator really probably keep, if I had to keep one, would be this volume down here because it gives me that volume and price action analysis. These are momentum indicators. Don't need them, but they help. They kind of help you there, if you understand how to use them. But absolutely, we could even trade naked charts, guys, without even the volume here. But if you want to be really good, you trade the price action with the volume at the bottom here, not the volume at price level, the time volume. Because if you understand how to read these things, then you understand what you're doing when you're looking at that volume and price action relationship in specific areas of the movement there, right? So yeah. Let me see here. So that's kind of, this is life, guys. Trading is life for me. All right. It's been for 3 decades now. Because of trading, I don't have to work for somebody else, right? Because of trading, I live where I do, have a nice house, have all these things, these worries I don't have to have, right? And I've been able to then now use what I've learned to help other people, right? There's something to be said for that. Most of us never get that opportunity in life because we don't take the chances we need to do. We don't take the responsibility we need for the decisions that we make in life. Life is way too short to do that. You guys have way too much potential, way too much opportunity in your life, to just kind of sit there and just play by whatever's happening, just to be sitting on the sidelines as things happen. Okay. Yeah, Tenacious B says on-chain analysis is good to see where psychological events may happen, but it's a secondary indicator to a chart. Exactly. Just like the other indicators on the chart, right? Even if you have a custom-made indicator, they're always lagging. They tell you what has happened, but they don't tell you what that means, right? And you have to have, and some of it comes with experience, just being through multiple cycles, multiple years, multiple markets, and you start understanding what tends to happen one way or the other and why, right? My goal with what I do here, and to a much, much greater extent at TWWC, at the Trading Academy, is to help you shrink down that time it's going to take you to learn that. It might take you 5 or 8 years to learn that. With us, it might only take you a year. Again, it depends on how much effort, consistency, discipline, focus, time commitments, all that you put into it. But it's 100% entirely on you as to whether you figure it out or not. We give you a way to do it quicker, right? But yeah, but if you do join, guys, listen, if you do join, please use the code Bitcoin, okay? That'll get you 50% off your monthly indefinitely until you decide you want to cancel it. Or it'll give you 50% off the yearly, which already gives you 2 free months. So basically you're getting half off of 5 months. Or 10 months, I'm sorry. So with this code, basically on a yearly, you're paying for 5 months. You're getting 7 months for free. And that's year after year, as long as you want to stick around, right? And so no hard feelings if you don't. That's up to you. But the last thing I want is for you to join in and then not do anything. If that's what you're going to do, don't even join in, guys. We don't need your money like that, because you're just going to waste money. I don't want you wasting money. If you're going to waste money like that, just spend it on something that's going to give you memories, right? But if you're serious about learning how to trade, if that's something that you think you really honestly want to do, and you want to get off the merry-go-round and all the nonsense that's out there, you want to stop being scared when you're in the market, you want to stop being scared when things FOMO and you don't know what's going on, you want to be scared when it keeps pulling back. If you want to be comfortable, if you want to understand and learn and be successful, bring that attitude over. I'll bend over backwards to help you out. Not just me, but everybody else there. Vince and Andrew and Fibbo, even our other students that have been there for a while. They love finding new people. Why? Here's the thing. I've spent almost my entire life trading by myself. It's boring. I've never had more fun trading than I have since TWWC, since I started TWWC, because I get to trade with people. And especially since we started doing the live here. Oh my God, it's so much fun. We're on the 5-second, the 15-second, the 1-minute time frames. We're trading, man. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays every week. You're seeing how these things apply in real time, and not just in real time, but when things are going like this and you have to figure things out quick. What are we doing? Why? How are we adjusting our thinking as price is moving? You get that. You learn. You don't have to trade with us. You can sit there and just listen to me talking about it. Just being a part of it, you get to be a part. You get to learn that. You get to see it happening in real time. And not this BS nonsense like James Wynn and all the other people on there are doing, where they're over-leveraged, oversized, just killing themselves, right? And especially if you want to learn to trade prop accounts. Like I said, this is my 5th prop account I've passed here in, we've been doing this since April or so. So what is that? About 3.5 months? Yeah. 5th one I've passed with everybody there. So, again, we discuss why you have to trade a certain way with that. Right? Because it is a little bit different than most people are going to trade with their own money. Okay? But again, I can't do it for you as far as what you need to do to become a successful trader. You absolutely have to put in that work. You have to be serious about it. Don't put my money with me. Don't put your money with me or even anybody else. Anybody that's telling you they're going to teach you how to trade and learn how to be a millionaire overnight or quick or whatever, you only have to trade a couple of minutes a week. It's all BS, guys. It's all BS, especially at first. I'm here to tell you that. I could tell you the same thing they're telling you and get you to join and just, and get all that money. But how does that help you? It doesn't help you. And it looks bad on me. I care about how I look. I care about what my name is. And I have money. I don't have to worry about scamming you to make money. I think that's the difference between what I do and what most of what you guys come across out there do. So anyway, love for you guys to join. And again, you get access to Fibbo too. And you're going to learn to love access to Vince and Andrew as well with their analysis throughout the day and the charts they're looking. I know Andrew's had a lot of great calls this week, calling things before they broke. Melania coin, he was talking about that before it ever broke out. And he was constant about it. He kept mentioning it. All you had to do was pay attention. Right? So I guess at the end of the day, guys, today is really just about life is what you make of it. Whether it's in trading or anything else, because you cannot be one way in one area of your life and expect to be another way in the other area. So these good habits, this paying attention to risk and understanding what risk really is and how to size it appropriately in trading will bleed out into the rest of your life. It'll encourage you to take the risk that you need to take to be better at whatever it is that you want to do in life, whether it's your position at your job, whether it's a company you want to start or a company you own that you want to expand, whether it's relationships you're in. They all come back to who you are as an individual and how you view the world. And if you're serious about learning the trading and putting the effort and all that, you're absolutely guaranteed to change your view of the world for the better in a way that's more conducive to you being more successful and happier. So many people today are just like treading water in life, and they're so unhappy. They don't understand it's purely a product of their own, of what they are, of themselves. You have complete control over that. I don't care where you grew up. I don't care what your position in life is right now. And that doesn't mean, that I just wave off, you're like, oh, listen, my parents were heroin addicts and I grew up and I was foster homes all through my life and I'm barely scraping by right now. You're telling me the way things are and the way they've been. You're not telling me how they're going to go. And if you think they're going to continue that way, it's only because you've decided in your head that it's going to continue that way. I've met way too many good people who have had similar situations that I'm not even kidding. And they've changed it because they've changed the way in which they look at the world. Some of them through trading, other than through other things, but they're all of them. It was with a change in their mindset to begin with, because they had to recognize that they were holding themselves back. They were the only one holding themselves back. Where you start out in life does not determine where you end up. The only people to believe that are people that have given up and never realized that they control what's going on. Stop worrying about what other people are doing and what other people are saying. Those things you have no control over. Focus on you, and you have absolute control over everything you do, because you're the one making the decisions. And when you make those decisions, you're the one deciding whether or not you're going to take responsibility, good or bad, for those decisions. You can't just take the good and say, oh yeah, look at how great I did. I did so good. And then you made some bad decisions, which didn't give you a great return. And you go, oh, that's somebody else's fault. You can't do that. You can't do that, because that still tells you that your life is being driven by this sitting back and just letting things happen to you instead of making things happen. Okay? All right, listen, folks, I'm going to get out of here. I really appreciate you joining in as always. Again, I'm going to ask you to hit the thumbs up, hit the like, leave a comment, share the link. Seriously, if something I've said today really impacted you positively, write it down. Leave me a comment or something, please. Let me know. It's not that I'm changing the way that you look. That's up to you to do. But I'm letting you know that you can change that. Okay? All right. So anyway, market's up, higher for longer. We'll get pullbacks along the way, guys. But right now, they're still just pullbacks. I'll tell you when I believe that, the tops are probably in, but I don't believe we're near that right now. We're still going to continue to see things rally up higher there. I've given you a good kind of grouping of different alts, Bitcoin, Qs, stuff like that, to give you an overall understanding that markets should continue higher overall. All right. All right, Roy, Jojo, Data, guys, I'll see you back over there at TWWC here in a bit. I'm going to give me some lunch. Arkham, yes, I'll be checking your comment here today. I may do it after lunch, so I may do it before lunch. We'll see here, but I'll be looking for your comment, okay? As always, folks, remember the only thing you control, as I've been saying all day long here, is how much you lose, right? That's what you control. You have control over that. Focus on that. All right. And just keep working on that day in and day out. And it's going to do wonders for how life feels, how much better life is. All right. Y'all trade safe. And hopefully I'll see some of you. Hopefully you'll be new members. Join TWWC. We'd love to welcome you in. Get you on board with these guys. Talk with them. Our group is absolutely amazing. We've got a small group of core traders that love they just love to help each other out and to trade together. They enjoy it a lot more than trading by themselves. And so, more eyes out there that know what they're doing. There's so many charts out there. You're bound. They're going to find trades that you aren't. You're going to find trades they aren't. Everybody's going to be better off for it. Okay. All right. Y'all trade safe. Have a great weekend. And by the way, underneath the video here, you can find the links to those free newsletters and stuff that I do. Join them at least. Get some free information. Small steps to becoming a better trader anyway, right? All right. Thank you for joining in, everybody. Have a great weekend. Take care.